Hello Bookworm family, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danny. If you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell because it's always a mystery when I post new videos. And if you are not already following me on Instagram, please go do so. It is at Danny's Book Corner 2018. I post way more on there than I post on here, so please go check it out. Whew! Guys, I have not my normal setup because I'm still wicked sick. I'm sure you can hear that. It has been like 2.5 weeks of being sick now. I just keep feeling worse and worse. I am going to the doctor soon. Hopefully going to get on some medication to get rid of this. But I wanted to do my September wrap up as it is the last day of September. And I want to move on to October because I am only 2 months away from going on my cruise and to the Wizarding World in Universal Studios. So I'm very, very excited and I'm just trying to like plow through October, even though October is my favorite month because I love Halloween. However, this video is going to be pretty quick wrap up. Because I'm not feeling great, I don't want to cough and sneeze all over the video, so hopefully I can do this without doing any of that. Whew, I am wicked sick. I'm gonna keep saying that because I don't know why, it just makes me feel better when I tell people that I'm sick. Is anybody else like that? Or is it just me? Probably just me. Anyway, in the month of September, I read 7 books, and my cheat sheet over here, which is why I keep looking over there, but I read 7 books. It was not my greatest month. I had 2 full weeks where I did not pick up a book at all because work started up again, and my mind went with work stuff, and I thought I was prepared for work and could keep up with my schedule, but I was proven wrong because I was teaching double the classes I taught last year. If you guys don't know, I'm a dance instructor, so I was teaching 21 classes this year. I am teaching 21 classes this year, but it was just like a mind explode moment. It was a rough 2 weeks, but I finally got back onto my reading schedule and I did manage to get through 7 books, even though not all of them were super big books. They were still 7 books. So let's just jump into the wrap up now because I just want to lay back down before I have to go to work again because I am the person who goes to work even though I'm sick. I know, I'm that person that people hate, but I do it anyway because gotta work. Alright, so my first book that I read in the month of September is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. I'm sure you guys know what the Harry Potter series is about. This is the 5th book in it. If you don't know, this is Harry Potter has just defeated, well, not defeated, but fought off Lord Voldemort in the 4th book during the Triwizard Tournament. And he came back and told everybody that Voldemort has returned. In this book, people are claiming that he is crazy, that Voldemort would not return. They're looking at him and Dumbledore like they are insane and attention hogs and all this stuff. And basically, everything he does is ridiculed and mocked by the Wizarding World. While that is happening, he is also struggling to deal with this new teacher that was sent from the ministry who's kind of taking over Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and trying to really torture Harry Potter into admitting that he is a liar and all that stuff, which Harry Potter obviously is not. So it's just a rough year for Harry. And while all that is going on, he is also having these horrible nightmares where he is basically inside Voldemort's mind and seeing the things that Voldemort is doing and all that jazz. So it is a rough year for Harry. This is my least favorite book of the series because I hate Dolores Umbridge. She ruins it for me. She's worse than Voldemort and I really, really despise her. Still, however, I give Harry Potter, all Harry Potter, 5 stars because Harry Potter is amazing and it is my life, and yeah. So it gets 5 stars regardless of how I feel about Dolores Umbridge, but still not my favorite book of the series. Basically, I read this book. It took me from June to September to finally finish this book, but I did it just because it's my least favorite and it's 870 pages. But I did it, and now I can say, well, I mean, I've already read it in the past, but I've only read this book once. I normally skip over it when I reread the series because I don't like it at all, but I can finally say that I've read it a second time. So finally made it through Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix for the second time. So that was my first book that I read in September. Second book I read in September was The Miracle Worker. This is a play by William Gibson, and it is about the life of Helen Keller, who was born deaf, blind, and mute, and her young teacher, Annie Sullivan, comes to her house to help her learn to basically behave and communicate. I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I love the play. I love the concept. I just wanted more, which is my reasoning for the 4 instead of the 5-star rating. I wanted it to go longer, which obviously I know it's a play and people would be sitting there for forever if it went longer, but I just wanted more. So I probably will read more of like the biography version of The Miracle Worker and more of Helen Keller's biography, because I really am fascinated by her and Annie Sullivan. So I really just want to read more about them, and I just didn't get a lot of meat in this, I guess. It was more just about a specific time in her life rather than the whole, I don't know, rather than her whole life, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But anyways, I did give this 4 out of 5 stars. It took me 1 day to read. Super simple book, and I highly recommend it if you don't know anything about Annie Sullivan or Helen Keller. So the next book I read in the month was Illuminate. I did read this as an ebook, so I don't have the physical copy. I read this because people are constantly saying like how good it is and stuff like that. So if you don't know what it is the Illuminate Files series. And this is the first book, Illuminate, by Jay Kristoff and Annie Kaufman. I did give this book 4 out of 5 stars. Basically what happens in the book is there's a couple, Katie and Ezra, who break up in the beginning of the book, and then their planet is attacked, and they pretty much lose everyone that they love. So they kind of find a way through Katie's hacking skills and Ezra's like super cool military man kind of thing that he has become since he has been taken aboard a separate refugee ship as Katie to communicate. And basically they're communicating through 7-minute messengers. It is written in mixed media style writing, so there's lots of like files and like text messages and all this kind of stuff, kind of writing. It's very interesting. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars because I did like the mixed media, and I did like the overall aspect of the book. Basically, after they find a way to communicate, they learn that their ships are in danger through several different reasons. Like there's a virus that's basically turning people into like zombies, and then there's like a ship that's coming to attack them, and then also the virtual intelligence guy who runs the ship, basically a computer who's running the ship, is also trying to take over. So that's all happening on Ezra's ship, and Katie is the only one who feels like she knows how to stop all this from happening. It's a good book. I definitely was expecting it to be a 5-star, and it was only a 4-star, so I didn't super love it, but it wasn't horrible. It wasn't horrible. I did appreciate the writing style. I don't know why, I just didn't really care for a lot of how it bounced back and forth between, like, I liked the mixed media, I just didn't like, there were certain narrators within the mixed media that got a little confusing at times. It was just a little confusing at times. I have heard that if you listen to the audiobook while you're reading the book, that it's better, so maybe if I reread it, I will try that, and hopefully that'll be better. Anyway, the next book that I read in the month of September, I'm going to do these at the same time because I'm really starting to get winded because I don't feel good, is Love That Dog and Hate That Cat. Both are by Sharon Creech. I read Love That Dog first, it's the first in the series, and then Hate the Cat is the sequel to it. Basically, in the first book, I gave Love That Dog 3 stars, and I gave Hate That Cat 4 stars. In the first book, it is like middle grade kind of book about Jack, who is first discovering poetry in his school class, and he doesn't want to write poetry because poetry's sad and sappy, and so he starts writing about his dog that he lost, and he finds that it's a very healing way to cope from his dog that he lost. And then in Hate That Cat, he is fully healed from everything that happened with his dog, and he has the same teacher the following year at school, and she's doing poetry again, so he's wicked frustrated because he feels like he's already done all the poetry he needs to do, and so he starts writing about things that he doesn't like the fact that his mom can't hear, and the fact that there's an evil cat, and he learns that poetry can not only help you heal, but it can help you learn to love the things that even you may not like, you can learn to love them anyway. So overall, these were really cute books. I think it's a great way to teach kids about poetry and sounds and different poetic devices. Sharon Creech does a really good job of telling a story within it. I just didn't give it 5 out of 5 stars because obviously they are geared more towards kids, but I felt like it could have had a little bit more of storyline that would have been more relatable to kids. So the next book that I read is A Swiftly Tilting Planet by Madeleine L'Engle. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. This is the 3rd book of the Wrinkle in Time quintet. There are 5 books. I almost said trilogy. But this is the 3rd book of that. This took me almost all month to read because sometimes Madeleine L'Engle's writing is very like scientific and my brain doesn't always work that way. But basically this is about Meg and her younger brother Charles Wallace, and their their country is in risk of going to war. So Charles Wallace has to basically time travel with a unicorn. I know that sounds crazy, but it makes sense when you're reading the book. Time travel with a unicorn to figure out where this all started and why these people want to harm their people in their country. And throughout that, Meg has to tithe with him, which is basically like reading each other's minds and emotions because she is pregnant and she can't go with him to help him back from her house where she's at. So this book was, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It was not my favorite in the quintet, but I still did like it. I listened to it as an audiobook and then kind of read some sections too, but I mostly listened to it as an audiobook, and I actually listened to the audiobook on YouTube, and the woman did a fantastic job of reading it. So if you guys want a good audiobook, I would look up the YouTube audiobook of this because it was really, really good. Basically, like, I just thought, I just didn't like it as much as the other books, but I felt like it will help the rest of the series because I do know that once Meg has her baby, the baby becomes a big part of the series as well, and then creates her own series off of that child. So, overall, I really, really did like this book, even though it wasn't my favorite of the series. I just felt like parts of it were a little bit more confusing than the rest of the Wrinkle in Time quintet, but I also feel like the books are made to grow with the reader. So the first 2 were a little bit more childish, and this is getting more like young adult, as the reader gets older. So. The last book that I read / currently reading, I still have like 300 pages left that I will definitely finish up today, is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I obviously know already that this is a 5-star book for me, so that's why I am doing this wrap-up before I finish the book. But basically, in this book, Harry Potter is in his 6th year at Hogwarts. Everybody now believes him that Voldemort is back, and he is the chosen one that is the only one who can defeat Voldemort according to the prophecy that he learned in the 5th book. Along with that, he is taking private lessons from Dumbledore, and they are trying to go back into looking at memories of Voldemort's childhood to help him kind of figure out more about Voldemort so that when he goes to defeat him, he knows what he's doing. And also within this, there is a lot of relationships and accusing Snape and Malfoy and all that stuff. Hello? Hi, I'm finishing up a video. Hold on a second. Accusing Malfoy and Snape of all this stuff that basically he is thinking that they are doing wrong or siding with Voldemort. So that is the 6th book of the series. That was a really, really poor explanation of that, but I am still finishing reading it. I have obviously read all the Harry Potter books before, so anyway, but that will definitely be a 5 out of 5 star for me. Not even a question on that. Anyway, so that is the end of this video. Those are the 7 books that I read in September. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!